My shelves are a mess because I took a bunch of my favorite books off of them because this is a favorite book video. My last few videos have been scripted, this one isn't. I'm just gonna ramble on about my favorite books because it has come to my attention that some of you don't know my favorite books. I am gonna finally talk about them. Here we go. Starting with the books that I actually own physically. The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin. I think this was the first Le Guin book I read. Le Guin? I'm more comfortable with Le Guin. And everyone said, oh man, this book is great, it won all the awards, it does gender roles, and I was like, yeah, it does gender roles alright. Also, political drama, a love story, an adventure story. Damn, I love this book. It was written in 1969, and it could have been written yesterday. It also couldn't have, because I think that we've kind of moved away from the language and cadence of the 60s and 70s. Do I miss it? Yes I do. I love old-fashioned language. Next, this is obvious. The Truth by Terry Pratchett. The newspaper gets invented, there's an OT3, and gay dwarves. Night Watch by Terry Pratchett. I'm sad forever. It's time travel, Les Mis, I want to die. Okay, I Shall Wear Midnight. Young witch comes of age, marries her friends, but not in the way you think, and oh my god, Tiffany Aching shows us what it means to be responsible. I love her so much. Thud by Terry Pratchett. Board games. Dwarf and troll relations. Sam Vimes is really angry. Honorable mentions from the Discworld series. Carpe Jagulum. It has some of my favorite passages of any Discworld book. It talks about religion and vampires and motherhood and friendship and relationships between women. Incredible. Also honorable mention from the Discworld series, Guards, the first Discworld book I ever read, still holds up. I love that book so much. Wintersmith, that's another Tiffany Aching book. I've heard it on audiobook so many times. I love Stephen Briggs. He's just a great audiobook narrator. Alright, moving on. Michael Chabon is one of my favorite authors. He never fails to include gay characters and Jewish characters in his books. This is The Amazing Adventures of Cavalier and Clay. It's about the birth of comic books and World War II and the, Holocaust, and I think this is one of the great American novels. My dog is barking. Next to the books that I don't own physically, I'll put pictures of them up here somewhere. First is Sabriel. I listened to this on audiobook this year. Tim Curry is such a good audiobook narrator, way better than I expected, his Mogget voice especially. So Sabriel is about this young woman who was born on one side of a wall in a magical kingdom and gets sent to live on the other side of the wall in the non-magical kingdom to protect her. Her father is a good necromancer, and when he goes missing, it's up to her to take on his role as the Abhorsen and fight the undead. She falls in love with a prince, and it's honestly a great romance. She meets a magical sassy talking cat who I love forever. I might have to name a cat Mogget if I ever get one. She's such an amazing character because she's responsible and she doesn't shy away from her duties, and she's smart and capable and just the best. So I highly recommend that whole series. I honestly think Sabriel is the best one, and they get subsequently not worse, but my least favorite as they go down. So definitely start with Sabriel. She's wonderful. Next, also read this year, is The Goblin Emperor by Catherine Addison. I also listened to this one on audiobook. About a month after I listened to it again. It's the only political drama I've ever enjoyed. It's about a half-goblin, half-elf who inherits his father's elven kingdom. He hasn't been raised in court because his father hates him and has hardly spoken to him. So his name is Maya. He's a precious cinnamon roll, too precious for this world. I love this story because unlike other political drama, Maya is a really decent person, and the people that he surrounds himself with are generally decent people as well, and it actually goes into what it's like to run a kingdom, and not just political backstabbing, but hey, there's this bridge that we need to build. What are the proposals we're gonna get? What are the fallouts of the bridge gonna be? It's not just a typical YA, oh, I don't want the throne, my advisor hates me or whatever. It really dives into the nitty-gritty details, and I love it for that. You know, I'm checking my list and I actually forgot one of the physical books I have that's a favorite one of mine. Lom Hedge by Brian Jakes. I had to pick one Redwall book because although I'm over my Redwall obsession, I will never truly be over it because It introduced me to anthropomorphic animals, and although I used to love the black and white morality of these books, I really don't care for it anymore, but they'll still hold a special place in my heart, and this one especially. I love the audiobook. All of the Redwall audiobooks are full cast with Brian Jakes narrating, and there's lots of songs in Redwall books, and they perform all of them, and it's cheesy and glorious. So Lom Hedge is about this young hare named Martha, and she can't walk, so she's been in a wheelchair all her life, and her brother and his friends travel to Lom Hedge to try and find a cure for her. And then meanwhile the abbey gets under siege, and of course there's lots of plot lines going on because it's a Redwall book, but this one is just so much fun. I love all the characters. There's too many characters, but you know what, it's fine, we love him. Next book that I don't own physically but I do have on ebook is The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I could talk about this book for years, and I suspect that I will talk about this book for years. It's Firefly, but better, and with aliens and gay. So it's just a beautiful found family in space story. Not a lot happens. It's just a bunch of vignettes about these characters. Everyone gets their moment in the sun. Next, I've talked about these before, The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue and The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy. I adore both of these books. I said in my Lady's Guide vlog that I love that one more. We'll see if that holds up with time and with retrospection. I love these books so much because they're everything that I love in a book. Great female characters, queer romances, swashbuckling, historical fiction with a hint of fantasy, cross-continent treks, beautiful prose. I can't recommend these books enough, so get out there and read them. They're long, they're fun. There's only 2 of them, but Mackenzie Lee is still writing. She's gonna write more. Her career's just getting started, and I can't wait to see what she writes next. And last on the list, I've got my top 9 or so before I get into the honorable mentions, is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I listened to this on audiobook this summer, and I cried my eyes out multiple times. It's about a movie star named Evelyn Hugo who is from Cuba. She dyes her hair blonde and becomes a movie star in about 40s to 70s Hollywood. She's bi. It chronicles her long-term relationship with a fellow actress, and then also her 7 marriages, some of which are fake and staged, some of which are actually, like, she, you know, loved the man. I have never felt so seen by bi representation. You shouldn't love Evelyn as a character because she's conniving and will do whatever she can to get money and be famous, but I do love her. It sounds funny to say because she's a movie star, but I think she's a really genuine person and a genuine character, and she doesn't try to hide the fact that she is kind of manipulative. Can't recommend this book enough. I didn't think that I was going to enjoy it, but historical queer fiction, love that. The audiobook is great because it's narrated by 2 different narrators. Robin Miles does one character, and I don't know the other narrator's name, I'm sorry, but yeah, it's great, and I love Robin Miles, so. Honorable mentions, I'll be quick here. Codename Verity by Elizabeth Wayne. I cried some more. World War II, female friendships, oh my gosh, great. Mr. Plummer's 24-hour bookstore, Secret Society, friendships, love it. Six of Crows duology, oh my gosh, you already know, BookTube. I didn't think I would give into this trend. It's queer, it's swashbuckling, cons, I love it. Let's talk about leverage sometime. Wild. Yeah, it's cliche. It's about hiking. It's a woman. I love it. Cinnamon and Gunpowder. A female pirate captain kidnaps a chef and they fall in love. Oh man. Oh man. Lord of the Rings. I don't have Fellowship because it's on ebook. You know, everyone says, well, a lot of people say they like Lord of the Rings. I feel like there's usually a caveat. They're like, yeah, I know it's like long and Tolkien goes on and on about whatever. No. I don't care the descriptions are long. I love the style. I love the way everyone talks. I love these books. Unironically, no caveats whatsoever. I love all the characters. I mean, especially the Hobbit, Samwise Gamgee's life. Like I said about Left-Handed Darkness, I love this style. Like, unreservedly. I love it. You know, everyone is like, oh yeah, this is a Tolkien ripoff. Bitch, show me where there's a good Tolkien ripoff with actual hobbits and friendship and a good quest like this one that actually takes a toll on people. I want to see it. I got a little confrontational, I'm sorry about that. Those are my favorite books, at least the top 16 that I could narrow down. I'm sure there's more that I just left off of here. Most of these books are from the last few years because I've dramatically increased my reading in the last few years, and it's really cool to have new favorites in my adult life. There you have it. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.